Good morning, traders, and this is your DAX daily review. So we are still in this triangle. I think let's just tidy that up a little bit, bring it down like that. So that is our consolidation triangle at the moment, and we are pretty much running at the bottom of that triangle at the moment. So as I said yesterday, don't be too surprised. We're probably going to swing inside this triangle. We're still inside the triangle. One thing's for sure is that the break is going to be violent. And if I look at the number of red bars in this, the buyers are battling. The sellers are definitely in control of this pattern at the moment. That tells me that the break is looking to be to the downside. Okay, now from a level perspective, there is my level, which has been tagged once. We've got a gap to the downside as well. We've got two gaps to the downside actually. So, I'm pretty much of the opinion that is going to happen. So that targets that second gap, and in actual fact it targets this swing low here. Pretty much that would be the most logical area for me anyway. Okay, so this area down here is 11,400, 11,410. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at on the daily at the moment. If I just pop across the weekly, you can see we had buyers. We still got a few buyers stepping in off the bottom here, but nothing really concrete. And so there is a weekly swing high here. So that's definitely, this gap close is definitely an area where you'd want to be buying. Okay. So let's start looking at the higher time frames at the moment. So you can see how messy this is. Tails the top, tails the bottom, lots of barbed wire, lots of confusion. One thing that has happened here is, we've been battling with the 200 EMA for most of the week actually, and now we've got the confirmation of the breakthrough. But you can see how confusing this is, because you get these massive inside bars, then you got an inside bar for the upside, then you get an inside bar for the downside, then you get the confirmation. So it's very difficult to pick a direction at the moment. You're on the DAX right now. I think the money is to be trading in the much lower time frames. Now, unlike the US markets, this is not gathering into any buying zone off any levels at the moment. So you need to proceed with a lot of caution here. Okay, so just validate what I'm saying. So you had a move of 120 points, right? Then we moved up 100 points. And then we moved down another 120 points. Okay, so you can see Monday was nothing happening, and then yesterday was just a whole lot of volatility here, and very difficult to pick a direction, which is why we want to be trading this on the 5 minute. Okay, that's going to give you the correct entries and exits. So right now we have a gap at the bottom here, and my view, I want to do that. My view right now is I expect that gap to close. And if I just look at the DAX right now, minus 0.4%, so that's 11,931 at the moment. So don't be too surprised if it's right here, 11,949. Yeah, okay, so currently that gap is closed. The futures market is looking like to gap down there. I think the interesting thing to bear in mind is if we do open below this trend line, I'd want to see a bit of a pullback, and then I'm short. Okay, because I anticipate that this thing is going to move to the downside. Right, so nothing I can read to the left at this stage. This trend line is probably the most important one here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 touches, and if we get through it now, first pullback is what I'm looking for to be short, and then I may actually anticipate holding that short as a triangle break. Okay, only problem that I do have with that theory is my stop is going to be 150 points. So we'll see if we can find something lower down. Okay, yeah, and even on the 30 minutes, you can see the amount of confusion here. And he has a pretty good bullish pattern which didn't play out. You see engulfing, inside bar, it's a triangle, even a double bottom, and double bottom definitely didn't play out. So the target would have been pretty much the top of the line up there. So that didn't play out. And you can see when the parabolic SAR are grouping like this in short bursts, you always know that there's chaos. Okay, so looking at the 30 minutes, we are grouping the downside. So I do see, definitely we know the gap's closed, but just have to wait and see what the open brings. Okay, so right now, just a bit of the noise. That's my level, first level. There's my next level. So any bounce back up to either 11,986 or 1200 is what I'm looking for to be short. Okay, so on the daily bar, that would be the Brooks gap close. Okay. Actually, no, there's another gap higher up, but it is a gap close, but not the one. That one up there is probably the one we're looking for. But anyway, I don't think that's going to happen, not based on this bar. But you never know. You're looking here, you see this massive move to the downside, then a gap up, and two green bars, and then another massive move to the downside. So now this is also in its own a bearish pattern, but let's just see what we can do here. Yeah, so I'm almost inclined to, well, not almost, I am inclined to be looking for shorts, but I'm very wary of that bottom trend line at the moment. If we do gap below it, any pullback, and I'd like to see a pullback back into the triangle to come and close 1200 would be nice, but whether we get 1200 is another story. At least to come back and close 11,986, and then I'll look for another move to the downside. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all that I have here. What I do want to do here is just highlight, well, I suppose, even on a 6 minutes here, this would have been chaos to trade. I didn't really look at this yesterday. Yeah, it's been very difficult to trade this. Very, very difficult. But anyway, at the moment, the trend is fairly strong to the downside. So you look at how the hour is pointing straight down at the moment. So I do think you can aim for pretty much. We know that gap is already closed, but I do suspect you'll get some buyers off here that it bounces back up, and then I'm looking for an entry up, further up. Okay, that's kind of the view we're looking at, and also just bear in mind that you've got a head and shoulders here, shoulder, head, shoulders, and we've broken through the neckline, so that does make sense to come back in to sell off one of these levels, and your stop is above there. Where else? Your stop is 100 points away. Okay. Here we go. That's my current view at the moment. Hopefully we get rid of this confusion of the last couple of days and we get a bit of a trend brewing for. It would be nice to have a trend for a day, but you know, even if that doesn't happen, we do have a couple of breakouts that you need to focus on as well. And there's one right here. Okay. So there is the breakout, and that is the level. And if you look at that, that pretty much lines up with this previous low. Okay, so that's my view at the moment. If we do continue to the downside and we sort of hover around here, watch out for some positive price action. I have a feeling that's probably, yeah, there's my inside tails there. So that is an area where you'd be looking for a long. but my feeling of the long is it's going to be a long to come test the breakout, and then it's short again. Okay, so long to me would be a scalp, back up, and then short to the downside. That's kind of the play that I'm looking for right now. Okay, so we probably gap down, hopefully consolidate here, and then move back to the upside. Okay, anyway guys, that's it for me today. Just be safe, work on the very low time frames, and keep those stops really tight. And I'll catch you later. Cheers for now.